Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're unpacking register, the degree of formality in your language, the distance you set between yourself and your reader. It matters because the exact same idea can land as authoritative, professional, neutral, friendly, or intimate depending on how you phrase it. In IB Language B you write in specific text types drawn from the examination list, so you need to tune your register to match the type and audience named in the task. Paper 1 explicitly has you choose a text type from those listed in the instructions, with different audiences, contexts, and purposes in play. Let's start at the top of the ladder with very formal register. This is the voice of institutions and policy, precise, restrained, and impersonal, and it aligns naturally with reports, proposals, and formal letters and emails to authorities such as a principal, an NGO, or a council. To sound right at this level, reach for exact, sometimes abstract vocabulary, words like implementation, allocation, and mitigate, and avoid contractions. Build longer, carefully subordinated sentences and use an impersonal stance. This report evaluates, it is recommended that. Passive constructions earn their keep when the process matters more than the people, data were collected following review, and cautious modality is expected. The results indicate, the data suggest, may, might, could. A report line at this level might be, a phased implementation of the revised timetable is recommended to mitigate recurrent delays, while a proposal might say, it is proposed that library opening hours be extended by 90 minutes during examination periods. In a formal letter to an authority, you'd open with something like, I am writing to request a review of lunchtime supervision in light of sustained congestion, and close with, I would be grateful for your consideration. The most common pitfalls here are over-nominalizing until your meaning fogs up, facilitation of the implementation, and letting a stray contraction or idiom yank the tone down a rung. Step one notch down to formal register. Still professional and public-facing, but more readable. This level fits a newspaper or magazine article intended for a broad audience, a news report, a speech or talk to parents or community stakeholders, a published review, or a formal email to staff or a committee. Keep vocabulary precise but accessible. Lead with active voice for clarity. The council revised the timetable after a review. And save the passive for balance. Use classic signposting to guide non-specialist readers. However, moreover, in summary, and blend clarity with appropriate caution, early results suggest, it is reasonable to expect. A formal article might open, recent counts show a rise in late arrivals. This article examines practical changes to morning routes. In a formal speech you could say, we recommend moving the first departure forward by 5 minutes. Early results suggest this reduces lateness. A review might read, the festival's inclusive booths fostered community spirit, though uneven sound design occasionally diluted speeches. The risk at this level is sliding either into stiff over-passive prose or down into insider slang that weakens credibility. At the center of the ladder sits neutral register, plain style clarity designed for quick understanding. This is a natural fit for leaflets, brochures, pamphlets, posters that carry information, travel guides, web pages with informational content, sets of instructions / how-to, questionnaires, and surveys. Use everyday concrete verbs like change, start, and share, build short to medium sentences, and keep idiom to a minimum. Imperatives and impersonal notices both work. Move morning departures 5 minutes earlier, or morning departures move 5 minutes earlier. Stepwise sequencing, brief examples, and micro-headings inside paragraphs help readers scan quickly. A neutral leaflet paragraph might read, move morning departures 5 minutes earlier. This reduces late arrivals based on last week's observations. Share the update with form tutors by Thursday. A travel guide tone would be equally straightforward. The museum opens at 9 o'clock. Reserve timed tickets in advance to avoid queues. If a paragraph starts sounding ceremonial, you've drifted up. If it starts sounding like a chat thread, you've drifted down. Drop one step to informal register, which is friendly, conversational, and best when your audience is primarily peers and the goal is to persuade, rally, or share an opinion. This suits a blog, a school op-ed / opinion column, public commentary or readers' letters, a podcast radio script, and some community tone web pages. Contractions feel natural. First and second person pronouns close the distance. Phrasal verbs and familiar connectors, so, plus, anyway, keep the rhythm lively, and selective, widely understood idiom adds energy. Use direct address. You've seen the morning bus crush. Hook questions. What if we just left 5 minutes earlier? Micro-anecdotes for relatability and short-long sentence variation to control pace. A blog paragraph might run, "Let's bump the morning buses 5 minutes earlier. People keep turning up late, and it's messing with first period." An op-ed line could be, "If we stagger lunch by 10 minutes, queues shrink, stress drops, and everyone actually eats." Keep it warm and organized. Sarcasm, in-jokes, or rant-length sentences can alienate part of your audience. At the bottom is very informal register. Expressive, quick, and personal. The language of social media posts, chat rooms, diaries, and personal letters, emails to close friends. It's perfect when the channel and relationship are clearly casual. Expect clipped sentences, slang, and emojis, but keep at least one concrete point so the message doesn't dissolve. A social post tone might be, "5 mins earlier PLS, being late is killing me. Try it for 2 weeks." And a note to a friend could be, "Meet 7:05, new bus time, no sprinting today." In school contexts, this rung is rare unless the prompt makes the casual channel explicit, so if the audience isn't obviously close, step up to informal or neutral. If you want to keep the mapping handy, think of each text type's default range and its stretch one notch up or down depending on audience. Reports, proposals, and formal letters to authorities live between very formal and formal. Articles, news reports, speeches to mixed audiences, published reviews, and formal emails sit at formal and can lean neutral for accessibility. Leaflets, brochures, travel guides, informational web pages, posters, instructions, questionnaires, and surveys are neutral by default, rising to formal for policy-heavy content, or dipping toward informal for student-facing campaigns. Blogs, school op-eds, readers' letters, podcasts, radio scripts, and community-tone web pages are typically informal, but can harden toward formal if the outlet expects polish. Social posts, diaries, and personal letters to friends are very informal by design. The exam expects you to draw from that list of text types and adjust to the audience and context named in the task, so locking the right register is part of sounding like you belong in that space. A quick way to set and hold the level is to align a few levers in every paragraph. Word choice is the strongest signal. Implement, allocate, and mitigate push upward, while roll out, hand out, and cut down pull downward. Sentence design nudges the ear. Subordinated, carefully balanced lines feel more formal. Short stacks feel more informal. Voice matters. Impersonal frames and occasional passive make the tone more formal when the process is the point. First person and active imperatives sound more informal and direct. Modality and hedging adjust certainty. May, might, could, and the data suggest raise formality. Will and must sound bolder and paired with casual phrasing slide you down the ladder. Even your connectors and punctuation carry signals. Moreover, in contrast, and restrain punctuation read formal, while so, plus, strategic dashes, and use sparingly exclamation marks read informal. Keeping all those features pulling in the same direction is what makes your register feel intentional and convincing, and it's exactly what lets your chosen text type sound right to its intended reader. Finally, remember that Paper 1 deliberately exposes you to a variety of written genres. Tuning your register to fit that variety is part of becoming a flexible writer.